Welcome to Our Hometown, the show where we take an in-depth look at some of the people and organizations that make this area unique. We'll start this month's show with Peggy Dorso, a volunteer with Paul's Place, to talk about their upcoming event, Raise the Rough. We'll then meet with Katie McKee and Elizabeth Jones to discuss the Brunswick County 4-H Fair coming up next month. Next, we'll talk with Jeannie DeFour and Diana Black to discuss Listen Up Brunswick County, a charity concert series I know you'll be interested in hearing about. And finally, we'll close the show with Janie Withers and Anita August and their furry friend, Leo. They'll tell us about Pausability and the Poker Run fundraiser coming up in October. We look forward to hearing about these great organizations and the upcoming events here in Brunswick County. My guest is Peggy Dorso. She is with Paul's Place, and I'd like to welcome her to the show.
Hi, thank you for
We're
having me.
glad you're with us.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Paul's Place.
Paul's Place Dog Rescue was founded in 1999 by Nancy Janovitz. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, no-kill facility. That is, our mission is to rescue, rehabilitate, and adopt dogs.
You have dogs, I'll bet, don't you?
I do. I have 2 dogs that I adopted from Paul's Place.
How about that? So where are you located?
Paul's Place is located in Boiling Spring Lakes. We are on 5 acres of land, and we are literally situated about halfway between Route 87 and Route 133.
All right, and so our viewers will understand, so I will understand, your facility is to take care of dogs for a limited period of time prior to their adoption. Am I correct?
Well, actually, it's not just a limited period of time. If a dog doesn't find its home, we keep it forever. That's
Right.
what it means to be a no-kill facility. So our goal, of course, is to adopt the dog. But if we don't, we keep them. And we have had several dogs out there that are older in age, and maybe 10, 12, 13 years old.
How about that? That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful. How many dogs would you typically have at your facility at any time?
Well, we can house up to 50 dogs in our facility. Our ideal number to have is probably around 35. That's about the most manageable. Now, recently we had 42 dogs because we had already had 30, and then we took in a litter of 11 with a mama, and it was keeping us pretty busy.
And you have a number of volunteers.
We have a lot of volunteers. On any given day, we have, out at the facility itself, we have 3 to 5 volunteers that come out to help us do the things that we need to do out at the kennel. And that could be anything from scrubbing kennels to doing laundry, to helping sort food, to help straighten out the barn.
Right.
And loving on the dogs.
Always something to do.
And loving on the dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also occurs to me, and I want to get to your special event here in a moment, but it occurs to me that you have a need for contributions for food and other requirements for the dogs.
Absolutely. Paul's Place depends and relies on the generosity of our donors and our volunteers. We always are looking for food, supplies, and of course cash donations help us pay our vet bills and help us buy the supplies that we
I'd
really
forgotten
need.
about the vet bills also.
Oh yes,
That's
we
not
have
an
quite substantial vet bills.
Right. Now, I don't want to fail to get to your October event. That's one of the reasons we asked you to be with us. So tell us all about that.
Oh, Paul's Place is very excited. We are an outdoor facility, and one of the things that has been our goal, we are celebrating 15 years. We've been in existence since 1999,
Terrific.
and our birthday celebration is our kickoff campaign for our building. We are building an indoor sanctuary to help get the dogs out of the elements, to help make life a little bit easier for the dogs and for everybody else. So we are having a function. It's called Raise the Roof, and it's going to be held in Wilmington on October 10th.
It's a great term, by the way.
Yeah, we kind of, a little play on words.
Right.
And so it's going to be held at the terraces on Sir Tyler, and it's at 7 o'clock on October 10th. And we have music, we have live music, we will have food that's going to be supplied to us by many restaurants in the area.
Right.
We will also have a cash bar.
Right.
live music, and lots of auction and raffle items to help us reach our goal of having a nice little nest egg to help us build this facility.
Now, is your new facility right there on the grounds where your existing facility is?
It will be, and at the event we are going to have an artist rendering of what the facility will look like, and we will have people from our building committee that will be able to answer any questions that anybody has.
Tickets are available, I will bet you.
Oh, they are. Tickets are available for $40 a piece, and you can get them by going online to www.pauseplace.org, or you can go visit our Facebook page and you can get there also. But something that's a little bit unique, because we know that we are in Wilmington and we have a lot of supporters and friends in the Southport, St. James, Oak Island area.
Right.
We have arranged for a bus, so for a small additional fee, people can have a round-trip ticket, but it is limited, so it would be first come, first served, but you can get that on our website also. So we've tried to think of everything, and we also will have a block of rooms that will have a discounted rate at one of the hotels up in Wilmington for people that want to come from this area and want to make an evening of it.
Well, those are great ideas. You mentioned a raffle. Tell us about that.
Well, we are going to have auctions and raffles, and we have some wonderful prizes or things that people can bid on. One of them is a phenomenal paddle board. We have a week's stay at the Outer Banks for someone.
That's great.
And we have an original artwork from a very well-known artist in the area. So we are very excited about the prospects of different things to help us raise money. There's going to be something for everyone, and we try to make our tickets at a reasonable price point so that we can have lots of people, young, old.
They are, in fact,
everybody.
Very reasonable. Again, let's remind our viewers of time and place and the event so that our viewers hopefully will sign up.
Absolutely. Raise the Roof. It's at Sir Tyler. The terrace is at Sir Tyler at 7 o'clock on October 10th. Come on out and have some fun, dress casual. It's a good way to end the week.
Peggy Durso, thank you for being with us, and
thank you for
telling us
Jim.
a great story.
Thank you.
My guests are Katie McKee and Elizabeth Jones. They're here today to tell us about the Brunswick County 4-H Fair. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Let's start a little bit by talking about 4-H, what it is and what it's all about. Tell us about 4-H.
Sure. Well, 4-H is a national youth organization that is run by state universities, state land grant system, and county funding as well. And our goal is to put children in caring relationships with adults and provide that network for them while they learn leadership and life skills through their projects.
You said that oh so well. I mentioned before we went on the air that I was a 4-Hers, and there are 4 H's.
Yes.
And they are, tell us about the 4 H's.
They are the head, heart, health, and hands.
Right, right. I want to mention your special events several times. I want our readers to know the time and place and the event, so let's start by telling them about the time and place of the special event coming up in October.
It is our second annual Brunswick County 4-H Fair. It's October the 11th, starting at 9:30, and it is at the Extension Office out at the Brunswick Government Complex.
All right. And you would like as many people as possible to come out and see your young adults and 4-Hers, is
Yes,
that right?
it's open to the public, and it is a free family event.
And the idea is that they will have projects that particular
Yes.
day, is that correct?
So we have different divisions: small animal, large animal, sewing and craft, cooking, horticulture, arts, writing, and poster, because some of their projects are things they just can't bring to the fair, but they can bring pictures.
Wow.
And they will be showing off the work they've done for the last year. It's judged. There's a scoring rubric for every class, so that's judged. They all get ribbons that respect the quality of work they've done, and then there are championships.
And I failed to mention that it is free to those who want to attend.
Absolutely, it's free to everyone. Entries are free, and attendance is free.
Now, what are some of the more interesting fields of study or projects?
Oh, I think they're all interesting. That's hard.
Okay, I'm putting you on the spot. Our viewers might be interested in knowing some that are quite different.
Sure. This year we have a big push for insect collections.
Great.
We have a bunch of middle school and high school age young women who are collecting and identifying insects all over the county. You might see them running around with bug nets.
Right.
And that's really exciting because they're learning so much about ecology and how we can protect those species while they're doing it.
Sure.
And the importance of the insects in local environment.
Yeah.
Everyone always loves the animal projects. Who doesn't want to come see a kid with a cute fuzzy rabbit or a nice pretty horse? So we do have horses and goats and rabbits and chickens and I believe a turkey coming this year.
Now, 4-H has been around for more than 100 years. And I'm assuming the concept is much the same, but have things changed in recent decades, or perhaps they are much the same? I'd be interested in your thoughts.
We've been around formally since 1902. And some things have changed. The 4th H, health, was added a little bit later on and has become more and more important as we look at our modern youth.
Absolutely.
But some things haven't changed. It's still about finding great volunteers who want to work with kids and great kids who want to improve their skills. The focus traditionally was on agriculture. They started as corn clubs for boys and canning clubs for girls.
I see.
But it was still really all about teaching those citizenship skills and life skills. And we've continued that, but now we've broadened our base and we offer everything from robotics to the traditional cooking and sewing clubs to just clubs that really do focus on leadership development. We have a great group in the county that is learning how to teach others, teens in leadership training. And so that's a more modern take.
Right. You mentioned the term life skills, and it's such an important concept. Talk about that for just a minute with regard to your young adults.
Sure. 4-H breaks life skills down according to the targeted life skills model, which I should have brought. I have this giant wheel that I like to show people, but it's not completely portable. They're divided into 4 categories: head, heart, hands, and health. And it includes things like empathy, self-esteem, responsibility, caring for others, missing some in there. But there's to develop a whole person who can be a contributing member of society.
And I bet you've seen some of your young students grow into adulthood and see the effects and results of 4-H.
I've only been in this position for a little over a year, but young people grow so quickly. So it's been fantastic to watch them. I would say that our kids are really skilled at empathy. That's something I see every day in working with them, is how much they care for each other, how much they look out for each other, and how much they notice when one of them needs a little help.
So important. We started our interview by reminding our viewers of the time and place, but let's say it again because we want our viewers to be very welcome to come out to your special event. It's October 11th, 9:30 to 4 o'clock. It's at the Cooperative Extension facility at the governmental complex. And it'll be a great day to see all of your 4-H students and hopefully a lot of your friends and neighbors come out to see this event. Katie McKee and Elizabeth Jones, thank you for being with us.
Thank
you
you
so much. Thanks. My guests are Jeannie Dufour and Diana Black. Ladies, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
We're here to talk about Listen Up Brunswick County, and it's a fairly new concept. And I want our audience to know as much about it as we can get in just a few minutes. So tell us about the idea of Listen Up Brunswick County.
Listen Up Brunswick County is a group of music-loving volunteers. We're a nonprofit organization, and our mission is very simply stated: good music, good deeds. We're bringing professional touring musicians that tour all over the country and internationally to Brunswick County. This was a result when I moved here 2 years ago. My husband and I had been music lovers back in Connecticut. Our little library began a concert series as a fundraiser, and we became very involved in that. As a result of that, we were at many, many venues within a couple of hours of our home location. When we moved down here to Brunswick County, we found there unfortunately wasn't a lot of that type of music available. We had to travel to Raleigh or Columbia, a distance, in order to hear these musicians that we had come to love. So we decided to do something about it, and some of our music-loving friends that we've met, Diana, one of them, got together and kicked off our first season last year, a very successful season. We had 4 concerts at the Holden Beach Chapel, and were able to raise money in support of the Brunswick County Homeless Coalition.
Great, absolutely great. Diana, give us some examples of the type of music that we're talking about.
Americana is, think of it as a basket. It has a lot of American roots music in it, and by that we mean rhythm and blues, the Delta. Give some examples too of the folk music.
Yes, the Americana sound originated, can be traced back to roots music from the Appalachian Mountains, from the Delta sound,
The
Delta
Dust
blues.
Bowl, Woody Guthrie.
Absolutely, absolutely. The Cajun sound, Memphis sound, even Native American music. And early in the 20th century, during the Dust Bowl and the Depression, people migrated to the larger cities, New York, LA, Chicago, and that's when that melding of those sounds began.
Right. So what's the goal of your organization? What do you aspire to do?
Basically 2 things: bring great music to Brunswick County, and at the same time support those people in need in the county.
Can you give us some examples of some of the entertainers that you hope to have in the months and years to come?
Yes, as a matter of fact, our schedule is set for our 2014-15 season. We start in October.
Great.
And the first concert will be with Jack Williams, who is an amazing guitarist. Jack's been touring for over 50 years, and I encourage anybody that comes to the show to try to get there early so they can sit way up front and see the magic that happens. In addition to that, do not leave early, because at the end of every show, Jack does an unrehearsed medley of songs off the top of his head that will cover every genre imaginable, something that you will not soon forget.
Now, our viewers at this point are asking themselves, what were those dates again, and who are those entertainers? So let's get that website out there once or several times during this interview, please.
You can go to listenupbrunswickcounty.com, and we list all of the shows that will be playing. We give some information about the artists that are there, plus links to their specific websites, so you can do a little bit of homework if you want to find out about them. So it's kind of exciting. We're also going to be listing information about this year's beneficiary of our net proceeds, which is going to be the New Hope Clinic. So there'll be a link to them.
That's wonderful.
Right, exactly.
Now, the cost?
The ticket price this year is $23.50, and that includes a new sales and local tax of 6.75% we've had to include in our costs.
I understand.
And that is for tickets purchased up until 1 week before the show.
Right.
After that, the price goes up by a couple dollars. We're encouraging people to buy early. It just helps the cause a great deal. It saves us from high blood pressure.
Now, do you have a different location, or are you still at the Holden Beach Chapel?
The first two concerts will be at the Holden Beach Chapel. After that, we are going to have to update the website because we're not positive where those shows are going to be.
Okay.
Depending on the ticket sales and the number of musicians. Holden Beach Chapel trustees have been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, and supportive. So. And the acoustics there are fabulous. We just, depending on how large our group is and how many tickets we sell, we may have to move on.
But the goal is that we want to keep it a small venue so it remains intimate. There's nothing more wonderful than being present when a musician is playing but really seeing it.
I agree.
Watching the fingering going on with the guitar or whatever they're doing, whatever other instruments. It's really exciting to see and to be a part of.
I agree.
We also have the opportunity then to mingle with the performers at intermission and after the show. They're so generous with their time that way.
Again, remind our viewers of the time and place of your next event.
The first event of the season will be October 10th with Jack Williams at the Holden Beach Chapel Fellowship Hall at 107 Rothschild Street, Holden Beach.
The doors open at 7. The show starts at 7:30 sharp.
Ladies, thank you for being with us. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks so much. My guests are Janie Withers and Anita August. They are with Pause Ability. I even like the name, Pause Ability. Ladies, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having us.
We have another special guest with us. His name is Leo. Am I right?
This is Leo.
I have a lot of questions for you, but tell us first about Leo because I think he's the star of this show.
Well, Leo is a puppy mill survivor located in Brunswick County. He was born with no eyes. He lived a pretty miserable life in the puppy mill, and when he was found, was very sick, and Leo is still very sick. Leo suffers from congestive heart failure because he was never treated for heartworms, and he is beyond the stage of being treated now. But Leo will have a shortened life, but he has a very good life.
And he is loved.
He is loved, but Leo is a definite spokesperson, spokesdog for the puppy mill legislation issue and for responsible pet ownership and for spay, neuter, and for adopting our existing animals.
We're so glad that Leo's with us. Before we went on the air, I asked you a few questions that I think our audience will be interested in knowing. Tell us what Pausability does.
Pausability is not a rescue group.
Right.
We were formed in 2007 by a group of people in Ocean Isle Beach that wanted to do something to raise money for existing animal rescue groups.
So the idea is that there are sufficient facilities already to house the animals and take them in and care for them. And your mission is to raise money for those outfits. Am I on the mark?
That is correct. Every rescue group seems to struggle with the fundraising side, and funds are always needed. We have found that through unique, different, fun activities, we can raise money for the rescue community.
Anita, we know that there are so many stray and abandoned animals here in the county and elsewhere. Are we turning the corner? Have things improved in recent years?
Things have improved in recent years, and I'm happy to report that volunteers have gotten involved, as you probably know, with the county animal shelter.
Right.
And in addition, the rescue groups that Janie just talked about have become more and more active. People are willing to foster care for animals.
Right.
But the true answer to too many unwanted cats and dogs in our community is to spay and neuter the dogs and cats. Absolutely. That's the only solution in the long run.
Now, raising funds is a challenge for each and every nonprofit group here and everywhere. How do you raise your funds?
We raise funds in unique and different ways. No one wants to come to a fundraiser that's not fun.
Sure, fundraiser.
And on top of being fun, people like to see success, and they like to see what is done with the monies that they raise. They like to know that the monies that they raise and the monies they donate remain in their community. We try to take care of our own backyard first.
What are some examples of fun fundraisers?
We have done numerous fundraisers in our past.
I know of some of them.
Our upcoming is our largest, and Anita can tell you about our largest fundraiser of the year.
All right, Anita, tell us about it.
It's coming up in October, and it's the second Saturday in October, and it's called the Bicycle Poker Run. And it occurs over on Ocean Isle Beach Island. People sign up and ride their bicycles, and different sponsors on the island, about 11 sponsors, have different sites set up, and people can walk or bicycle to these various sites.
Or golf carts.
And they can ride golf carts,
good.
yes, true. And at each site they visit, they get a poker card, and they can visit up to 5 to get a poker hand, or up to 11 and pull the best poker hand that they can. For children, they get points towards prizes.
You explained that so well, and I confess to you that for all these years I've wondered what a poker run is. I knew it was a fundraiser of some sort, but I think you've explained to me now that you stop and get a card at each one of these stops.
Yes.
And hopefully you have a winning poker hand. Is that right?
At the end, you join the other riders and you submit your hand, and then prizes are given for the highest hand and the lowest hand. There are a lot of prizes for the children that participate. And then you join all the other riders for an after party, and they'll have a complimentary dinner.
Okay,
And
good.
that was food donated by Fibber McGee's and Papa John's Pizza.
And our
Fantastic.
local bakeries all participate donating desserts for the event. We will have a DJ with music, prizes, contest, and a great silent auction.
We'll get the date and place on the screen again, but I think you said it's the second Saturday in
October. Yes.
And what time is it, and where does it begin?
Registration's at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Registration begins at the tent beside the Coastal Museum on Ocean Isle Beach.
Sure.
On the corner. We do ask that you register in advance so we know the numbers of people attending. Registration can be done online or through a registration form if you don't do online. We will have information in the Beacon and the Stateport Pilot through ads prior to the event in both newspapers.
And actually, if you just head out to the island, you'll see the crowd. Because
Absolutely. You can't miss it. You
can't
go
miss
right
it.
by the tent.
Right, exactly. Janie, we know there's been a great deal of cooperation here in the county among your related groups, including the sheriff and the sheriff's office. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. I think you find that in the rescue community that many groups operate separately and feel very alone. What you have found in the last 2 years in Brunswick County with the private sector and government working together, we have conquered a great deal of our problems. When rescue groups work together and share resources, they share product, they share the needs they have, the volunteers and the fosters, more happens and it happens faster.
You mentioned that even if one group is short on food and another is in need, there's cooperation.
One group gets
there.
puppy food in abundance one month, yet they have no puppies. Another group gets lots of puppies, and the food is passed to the group that has the puppies. And in the beginning, the group said to me, well, what happens if I need puppy food? I said, if you need puppy food, we'll get puppy food for you. But let's share, instead of storing, finding storage space for supplies you don't need, let's share. And what has happened in conjunction with the sharing is our spay-neuter clinic, our low-cost spay-neuter clinic that was opened, Fix a Friend, on Highway 17. That shares a resource. All rescue groups need low-cost spay and neuter.
Absolutely.
All the citizens need affordable spay and neuter for their pets. Every animal that is euthanized at our animal control facility costs taxpayers $140, and these are the numbers from our sheriff's office. That's in tax dollars. There are many ways in this county to use $140 than catching, housing, and killing an excess
Absolutely.
unwanted cat or dog.
Yeah. Janie and Anita and Leo, we thank each of you for being with us today and wish Plausibility great success in the future. Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this month on Our Hometown. If you have a story that you'd like to share on a future show, visit us at atmctv.com to tell us about it. And thanks again for joining us. Tune in again next month as we explore more of Our Hometown.
Trojan Football is back on ATMC TV. Tune to Channel 3 or HD Channel 910 every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday after a home game at 8:30 p.m. to catch the action. This year's Trojan football season features play-by-play with Mike DeSpirito and Chris McKenzie and is brought to you by East Coast Moving, Grissettown Longwood Fire and Rescue's Haunted Trail, Southern Homes of Brunswick County, ATMC, and Turtle Crossing Cupcakes Espresso Bar and Bake Shop. Get in on the game with ATMC TV.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.